Hey, we're here today with Steven out of Alabama, but he's not from Alabama anymore. We're going to kind of cover that today. He kind of lives abroad. We're going to kind of cover a lot of his important topics and stuff that he does and how he makes money abroad, because a lot of people, it's like the key word, like, hey, how can I make money from home? But even on another level, how can you make money from home from another country? And I think it's a dope. It's really dope, and it's kind of cool how you can do that from another level. So, Steven, can you tell us a little bit about where you're from, what you did in the past? I like giving people like a ground form of where where they came from. Because like me, I'm a truck driver, and I resonate with truck drivers. You know.
Yeah, I dig it.
So tell me a little about you, where you're from, how you ended up where you're at.
I got you. So my name is Steven Storey. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I lived in Alabama until I was 26. That was back in 2014, 2015, something like that. And I had been in the insurance industry years prior, selling insurance. And at that time, when I left Alabama, I was working for AT&T. And I leave Alabama. I just wanted to move to Atlanta. That's all I wanted to do. And I got back into the insurance industry as an insurance adjuster, as a person who handles claims. Then I started moving all over the country. I lived in Florida, then Maryland, Texas, Colorado, back to Texas, back to Florida several times. I was in and out of Georgia, Alabama again a few times. And then I got a job in Canada, working for Allstate Canada. And this is 2018. And so I'm like, yo, I'm working abroad, I'm living abroad. And I figured out how to live abroad when I was living in Canada. You know, I figured out like how to pay bills when you're not there. I learned how to basically how to handle life in the States while you're not in the States. And then I figured something out. I was like, yo, I don't have to live in the States anymore. You know, and it was really cold. It was like October, November in Canada. And my car got stuck in the snow. I was like, yo, this is not working. So I went back to Alabama. I got a new contract in Alabama again. I worked in Alabama for 3 months. And then I was like, yo, I'm gone. I'm about to leave the country again. I'm tired of this. So I was like, I'm going to Brazil. And so I went to Brazil. Only supposed to be there 6 weeks. I ended up staying 6 months. And then while I was there, I still had this question. I was like, yo, like, how do I, continue to live my life here? Because at that point, I didn't have a job. I was selling things online, but it really wasn't doing well. So I went back to the States. Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey. No, that wasn't Hurricane Harvey. I'm sorry. That was 2019. I get back to the States in the end of 2019. Obviously, I know what happened after 2019. And the Canadian company hits me up again and said, hey, you can't come into the country, but we'll give you a work visa and you can work remote. So you already know, guys, I'm working for a Canadian company. I was like, yo, I'm going back to Brazil. And so, because I can already work remote. So I worked remotely as an independent insurance adjuster. And I lived in Brazil. And then from there, I was like, I'm going to start teaching people how to do this. I'll start teaching people how to be independent insurance adjusters. I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of people. And that took off, and I've been in the insurance education space from that point on. And I'm still living in Brazil. So that's the short version of where I am.
That's the short version. I think it's cool though, because a lot of people, like for me, I'm like, once I get like, it's harder with the family. Like you're still young. You have any kids?
Of course. Like I don't have any children. I'm not married or anything.
So it makes it really easy. Like if I didn't have any kids, like I'd be gone.
No.
But like, even now with kids, I'm like, I still want them to experience that culture, because I think it's important to see the world. And like a lot of people, I say this all the time. One of the greatest hacks in business and in life is leaving home.
I agree.
Because it opens up your mind, and like taking that a step further is like leaving the country, because once you see the real world and how the real world works, you kind of realize how blessed we are and how much opportunity we have as us as Americans.
I agree. That's the thing, man. Like, and to everybody that's listening, I have done better every time I have moved. Every time I left, I got better in a way. And not only that, I made more money. Now I've lived in 15 cities. I've lived in 3 countries now. But when I moved, like when you move to another country, it gets harder. And so you have to focus on details that you don't have to focus on in your regular life in the United States or wherever country you're from. And then you add in another language. I had to learn a new language, a new culture, a new city, new everything, plus run a business. And so it makes you you become much more focused. I'll say that much. As much
Absolutely.
as you would think Brazil would be like, oh, we'll go to the beach. No, it's not like that. So that's one thing I would just encourage y'all on. Anybody's listening, guys, look, you can do it. Like I'm a college dropout, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I lived in Alabama until I was 26 years old. I did not even start speaking another language until I was in my 30s. Now I'm fluent in Portuguese and have a home here, and I have a community here and a lifestyle and all that stuff. But that's really not the important thing. The important thing is that I made a decision to live consciously.
There you go. That's dope, man. So, side note, how long did it take you to learn Portuguese?
A year.
A year. Okay. And then you really learn once you're in the culture too, day by day. Like you gotta order food, you gotta live your life. You pick it up quick.
You gotta argue with your girlfriend. You gotta do everything in Portuguese. Everything, bro. You gotta like. But I say like a year, but in reality, I was speaking in 3 months. 6 months, I could go without my phone. In a year, I could express myself fully.
Okay, that's awesome, man. That's amazing, man. For people out there, young people, just leave home, man. A lot can happen.
Just leave.
Just
pick
leave.
a place.
The worst place you can end up is back on your parents' couch, which is where you're going to be at anyway. So
you're going to be there either way or with.
Just try something.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love it, man. I hope my kids can experience, because like right now my kids are 4, 2, and 1, and I want to take them to experience, like you don't do like week vacations because they can't experience the culture. So like my partner, he travels abroad. He's like, you need to like go for like 2 to 4 weeks just so they can experience it. And I'm like, that's the life I want. Taking your kids with you.
You have to, bro. But bless your children with that worldview, man. Because like my parents sent me to Germany when I was 16 for 2 weeks. They sent all of us to Germany separately for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And like I'm 16, 17 hanging out in Germany and France. Yes, it's only 2 weeks, but it opened my mind to what was possible. And so here I am. I know I'm not, I'm just some dirt road guy from Alabama. No, I know there's other places in the world. I've been there, and once you see it, then it's like, once you see, you can believe more of it, and yeah, that's been a big blessing for me, man. Huge blessing.
I think doing that opens up your minds to like people go through depression and stuff like that, personal turmoils. But once you actually see the world, you realize people have it way worse than you, and you kind of like man up a little bit. Well,
maybe it's not necessarily about the being worse. It's just like, they got it better in a lot of ways. Like I was at a restaurant yesterday, and the guy he always asked me questions about the United States. He's like, but the United States is just so much better. I said, look, man, if you're poor in a state that's cold, you can't go anywhere. You're just poor and you're stuck inside the house. And if you don't have any money, you're going to be cold inside the house too. You're going to be cold and hungry. Here, if you're poor, you can still go to the beach. The beach is free. You can still go hop in the ocean and enjoy the day. You know what I mean? And I think that there's a quality of life here in Brazil that, unfortunately, because our country is such a lawsuit-heavy country and there's so many rules. We have so many small rules in our day-to-day life. You know what I mean? Like for example, here in Brazil, if it's hot, guys just walk around with no shirt on. You're not taking your shirt off in the street in the States. It's hot outside. No shirt. It doesn't matter if you're big or small. Guys taking their shirts off. Women walking around with a bikini top on. They don't care, bro. In the States, it's like, what? There's kids out here. Put your shirt on. It's hot.
It's hot. That's it. Comfortability. I never thought about that the coldness of aspect of it. Because I went to Fiji, and there was a lot of like, not necessarily like homelessness, but there's like a lot of poverty in the area. But it was a warm climate. They can always go to the beach. They can always experience. I never thought of that. That's
bro. It's small things, bro. Like,
that's amazing, man. I think it's cool to experience other cultures, and you kind of get a different perspective. It kind of opens your eyes to possibilities. Endless possibilities are out there. And I think, man, I think people are just so like, they only live in their one city. I'm like, dude, it's a big world out there. There's so much out there. So much out there to see, so much out there to experience, so much out there to enjoy.
I agree.
It's crazy. I want to travel more. I'm excited. I'm excited for the future and
Come
the
on.
possibility that you can create a business. So let's kind of jump on that road.
Come on.
How long have you been doing insurance adjusting, and how'd you end up in that space?
All right. So I've been a licensed insurance adjuster since 2015. I ended up in this space because I got licensed as an insurance agent in 2008. I got licensed as a bail bondsman in 2011. A bail bondsman is actually a part of the insurance industry as well. So I already done 2 jobs. Yeah, bail bonding is actually insured. It's backed by insurance companies. Those checks that people write, they're backed by those companies.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and so I had already had a pretty good understanding of insurance from that point. And so my mother sold her insurance agency, and she became an insurance adjuster. And she was like, "Son, you should do this as well." And I was like, "Well, all right." I already been an insurance agent at that point, and I did well with that. So I was like, "Okay, I'll be an insurance adjuster too." And so I got in it, and then from there, I really began enjoying it, and I really had a lot of fun with it, you know. And it's been since 2015, so it's going on 7 years now. Yeah, end of the year will be 7 years.
So I think I know a little bit about insurance adjusting. I came across it in roofing.
Yeah.
That's where I recognize it from. Kind of paint a picture for a beginner that's never heard of what is insurance adjusting in a nutshell.
Okay, so insurance adjusting is when property. Okay, we're going to talk about property. You got health adjusting, you got all those other things. But we're going to talk about specifically about cars and auto. It makes it very simple for people. Whenever you get in a car accident and you have to call State Farm, Progressive, Liberty Mutual, when you're calling them and say, "Hey, somebody hit my car," you're actually talking to an adjuster at that point. From there, that person is going to gather your information that you have, photos, damage reports, things like that, loss reports. They're going to gather that information. They're going to review your policy and what you've paid for, the policy you paid for. They're going to review it, and they're going to make a claim decision, whether they're going to pay you an amount or not pay you, or pay you a certain amount and not pay you for other things. All right. So insurance adjusters are people who make claims decisions after after a claim has been made. Whether damage occurred or not is up to the claims adjuster, but that's basically what it is.
So, okay, so I had a car accident recently. So I recently went through. I thought I was talking to the insurance company. It's a claims adjuster.
The claims adjusters are the moving parts of the insurance company. So you have like an insurance agent. This person sells you insurance, but an insurance adjuster is the person who makes claims decisions. Now, where independent adjusters come in is when insurance companies, when their staff adjusters, insurance adjusters that work for a company like State Farm, Progressive, or Liberty Mutual, when they are overwhelmed and they can't handle claims in a timely fashion, they have to get more people. Okay. They have to get more people, but those people,
You're private sector.
I'm independent, right? So I can work for any company, and I work for dozens. Now, what begins to happen is they say, "All right, look, we need 500 adjusters to come in and work for a certain amount of time because our staff members cannot handle this workload," right? And so you go in and you do the job of a staff member, but you don't get paid benefits, right? You can be fired whatever time, at any given time, whenever the workload ends. So because of this, they pay us much higher rates than they pay a staff adjuster.
Gotcha.
You see?
Okay. All right. So let's talk about legalities. You have to be licensed. How do you get licensed? What's that? You have to be an entity? What's that?
Yeah, okay. So you're going to be licensed by the state. Okay. So every state is not a licensed state. So you need to first look at your Department of Insurance, your state departments of insurance, and see, does my state provide a independent insurance adjuster's license? If so, you're going to take a pre-licensing exam, a pre-licensing course and exam. Then you'll take a state exam after that. Okay. After that, you'll be licensed as an independent insurance adjuster. From there, you'll begin looking for work. We look for work by going to what's called an IA firm, independent adjusting firm. It's basically a staffing agency just for independent adjusters. And that staffing agency, those IA firms, they connect independent adjusters with insurance carriers, State Farm, Liberty Mutual, Progressive, so on and so forth, like that.
So yeah, you're right. You have to be licensed in all 50 states, or are your state
No,
specific?
no states. So certain states have reciprocity to other states. They're reciprocals, meaning like if you have a Texas state license
Right.
or Florida state license, you can work in X amount of states. If you have Alabama, you can work in X amount of states.
Gotcha.
And so these states these licenses allow you to work in, let's say you have 5 licenses: Texas, Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, and Alabama. Okay. You don't have, you can work in more than 5 states with those 5 licenses. You can work in several more, like probably a dozen more states because of the reciprocity laws, you know. But each state that requires a license, you will need a license to touch claims in that state. So for example, if you're in Mississippi and you got an Alabama claim, and you don't have an Alabama license, you can't work that claim. You have to go buy your Alabama license so you can work in Alabama.
So are licenses annual, biannually, or
Biannual.
biannual?
They're
Okay.
biannual. Some renew on your birth month. So it all just depends. Every state is a bit different. That's, again, you're gonna have to go to your Department of Insurance and confirm which states that you're licensed in and see when they're up for renewal.
So let's talk about paid, because everyone's like, okay, if I can do this virtually, like how much am I gonna get paid? Do you get paid off of like the size of the claim? Is it a certain percentage? Is it a flat fee? Or is it...
That's a great question. You know a little bit already. And so we'll talk about this. So there's field adjusters and desk adjusters. Okay. Field adjusters for auto and field adjusters for property. Property is a house or a building, commercial or residential. Now, field adjusters, they get paid what's called a fee schedule. It's basically a floating scale percentage based on the amount of damage that happens to a property. So let's say, for example, you get $5,000 worth of damage, you're gonna get paid a certain amount off that $5,000. If it's $10,000, $20,000, or $100,000, same rules apply. Okay, so if they have 50 claims, they're gonna get paid on those 50 claims. And it won't be an hourly rate. It'll be after they filed the claim and did a full inspection of the property, they'll get paid after that. That's field adjusting. It's a bit complicated as far as their pay structure. Now, desk adjusting is working in an office, or remote adjusting, working from home. You're getting paid either by the day or by the hour. Okay, you get paid weekly, bi-weekly. Some get paid on the 1st and the 15th. It just all depends, but it's more like regular office work as far as pay is concerned. Pay schedule is concerned. My bad.
So what are you strictly focused on? You're focused on more on the desk job of the hourly side of it, of working from virtually?
I've done both.
You've done both.
I've done all 3. I've done all 3. You know, I've been in this career for a few years now. So I've done field adjusting, I've done desk, I've done remote several times as well. And I teach students across all 3 of those types of adjusting.
Yeah.
Right now, I remote adjust because, you know, I'm not in the country, you know. And you know what? Now, really, I teach now. I don't even adjust right at this point because I have so many students. I don't have time to adjust anymore. You know, I got thousands of students. So, but what I would say is for a person that's trying to get into the business, because I already have a lot of experience. So I'm not a good example for a person that's listening right now. Yeah. For a person that's trying to get into the business, get in however you can. You go work in the field, go work in the field. If you want to work in an office, work in an office. They give you a job to work, you know, a desk or remote, just do it. Get in, you'll figure out what you like with time, but try some stuff out. You know, try field adjusting.
I like it. So what's because like I like learning about stuff like this because I'm here to help people transition, whether it's through a smooth transition or a hard transition. I'm here to help people transition from 9 to 5s to kind of like their own business. So like I like Andre Hatch's notary because it's kind of like a smooth transition. Yeah. This feels like a smooth transition. Real estate, anybody listen to this, real estate can be a very hard transition, but it's a transition. All transitions are not created equal. So it can be difficult in some ways. So like, what is the time? Because like real estate, like people, you can get paid 30, 60 days, 90 days out. Like you might not work for a paycheck. Like you're hustling for free, but there's huge outcomes on it. With this, like somebody from start to getting their first claim, if they hustled at it 30 days or less?
No, I wouldn't say that. I've seen people do 30 days or less.
Okay, so
but
it's possible.
But it's going to be more like 3 months to 6 months.
3 months to 6 months. Okay.
It's a lot of variables there, right? Like,
okay,
how fast you can study and retain information and pass a licensing exam, get your background check
100%.
back,
100%.
and if something is available or not. If there's a job available, you're going to get it. If not, you're not going to get it, right? And so I like to tell people 3 to 6 months, and they get hired in 3 weeks. Great, but more likely that's not going to happen for the average person, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not studying 8 hours a day and passing the test in a week and a half. They're not doing that. Most aren't.
Yeah.
So I like to say 3 to 6 months.
Okay. Proper expectations, right?
Yeah, proper expectations, exactly.
That's interesting. Okay. So once you get licensed, now are the work you're doing, is it emails, phone calls, computer work? Is it like all the above? Or is it just emails and paperwork?
It's a lot. It's emails, ton of phone calls. And then, and it's all pressing matters. When people are calling you as an adjuster, they're calling you because the house on fire, literally. They're calling you because the house got blew away. They're calling you because they totaled their car. So each call is a deadline involved.
Yeah.
You got to have a resolution for them soon. They're not waiting. They're not like, Daniel, the roof of my house blew away. Okay, talk to you in 3 weeks. No. They want you to start making decisions and taking control of the situation, right? And I think that can be overwhelming for people because it's a serious situation.
Oh, 100%.
They're not calling you because the wind blew the wrong way. They're calling you because the wind blew the house away. You feel me?
Funny, that's funny.
Yeah.
So every client is an urgent matter.
Yes.
Very, very urgent. The urgency is
there. Some are more urgent than others, but you do need to stay regimented in your day. You need to stay focused throughout the day. All right, look, I'm gonna handle 8 people today. I'm gonna get 8 people paid today. I'm gonna get 5 people. I'll make 5 claim decisions today. You make systems.
So let me ask you this: does the insurance company give you like a certain amount of flexibility to make that decision based off of the claim?
You get a lot of flexibility. It's essentially like this: can you explain why you made that decision and back it up?
Gotcha.
With documents, the photos. Gotcha. I'm denying this roof because I think these hail marks are actually blistering and improper nailing. You know what I'm trying. You know what I'm talking about. The roofing and all that.
I'm not from roofing, so I
roofing industry.
My partner is. So I've heard about it.
He is.
He does. So it's kind of interesting hearing the other side of it. That's why I'm laughing at myself, because he'll go and get the insurance claim for, he'll do like commercial roofing. So he'd get 6-figure, 7-figure roofs.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all based on like, can you prove it and can you explain why you want to do it? You want to pay or not pay? If you can explain that, then that's your authority, right? So that's where that flexibility comes in. But if you can't prove it, or if you can't explain why you want to pay or not pay, they're going to get you out of there pretty quickly, because they're like, he doesn't make good decisions. But you get, at the end of the day, you basically get like 100% flexibility to say yes or no. But you got to follow the guidelines of the policy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. It's like I said, it's really interesting hearing the other side of it, because you would think that there'd be the company would have the final decision because they're actually the one paying out, but it's the adjuster that has to make sense.
But the adjuster is the company.
Yes.
That's the thing. The adjuster is the company.
Man, this is so interesting. It's just interesting from the other side. I'm telling you, man, this is crazy. Okay, so it opens my mind into now, because now I'm looking at insurance stuff. Like, you don't even, like, you work for the company, but you're not in the company.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So since if you have the power to say yes or no, you say no, you still get paid as well. Of course you get paid, but do you get paid more or less for saying yes or no, or is it all flat fee based?
No, like when I'm working at a desk, so the field adjuster, they don't go out. A field adjuster, a person that goes out to inspect a car or a house, they can't deny. They don't have the power to deny. They can only inspect. The person that works remotely or at a desk, excuse me, those people are the only people who have the power to say yes or no.
Gotcha.
And they don't get paid for saying yes or no. There's no bonuses for either way. I can say yes every day, I'll get paid the same amount. I can say no every day, I get paid the same amount. It's all about how I can justify it. If I can justify it or not.
So do you justify the explanation? Like you have to like sum up the whole insurance issue. Yes, we're going to pay it. Here's why. And that's generally what you're doing?
Right. That's basically what I'm doing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And they can't just say yes or no and have a machine do it because there's intricacies.
No, bro, you gotta notate. You're notating files. You're writing out why you're doing something. You know.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and those notes can be pulled out in a lawsuit.
Yep.
You know.
So if there was some fraudulent or whatever, they can sue you based off you being an independent adjuster.
They wouldn't sue me. They would sue the company because I'm a representative of the company at that time. So it's not beneficial for me to just screw somebody over just to do it.
Yeah.
You see, because I have accountability too. I have accountability as well. I still want to keep my job, right? So I'm not gonna just screw somebody over just to do it.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the flip side of it. It's like, yeah, let me just give it to them. Well, now the company's looking at you for giving it to them, and then you're.
Some adjusters will do it, but like I said, you got to be able to back it up. You got to be able to back up why you're saying yes.
That's crazy. So, is it strictly based on your own hours and workload? Like, hey, I'm only doing so many claims this week because I'm part-time or whatever, or I'm only doing this in my free time.
Well, you're not gonna be part-time.
It's always full-time.
There is no part-time. It's only full-time for one. And then they give you a claim expectation. You know, they might want you to do 25 tasks per day. You know, they might want you to do 8 closures a day. 8 closures means they want you to make 8 claim decisions per day. Like yes or no. You know, and so that can be hard at times. So you gotta move quickly through claims.
That's crazy. It's only full-time.
Yeah.
That makes sense now that you're like, I only teach now because I can't do full-time and I can't do teaching.
No, you can't. Can't do both. Not well, at least.
So can it be outsourced? It always has to be you.
You're the one that's licensed. You're the one that has a name on the claim. So there's no outsourcing.
There's no outsourcing. Okay. I got you. All right. So this is such an interesting conversation. I've never talked to insurance people before. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Want to sneeze. There's something coming up.
Don't let it out, man. Oh.
Huh?
I said, let it out.
We're good. It went away. It comes and goes. So let's talk about your program. You said you teach. How many students do you teach? How long you been teaching since you started? Let's kind of go down that road.
Yeah, man. So I probably started getting people into the insurance adjusting industry in 2016.
Wow, right when you started.
Like a year after I got started, not 2016, sorry, 2017. When Hurricane Harvey hit, I was telling my friends, yo, get in the business, do this, write your resume like this, say this. When you get there, handle a claim like this. That's when I really started teaching, probably a year after I got into the business. But that was just like one-off, like, hey, bro, come do this. You need some work? Okay, come do this. You need a job. But when I formally started doing it, was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2020, and now I have 4 courses now. My 5th one coming. I probably have 3,000 students split between all those courses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it a transition through COVID, or was it just kind of a decision at that time?
It was during COVID, bro. It was during COVID for sure. You know, when everything went remote, I was like, now's a chance for everybody to get in. It's so much easier for everybody to get in now. Everybody has a shot, you know, because pre-COVID, it was very difficult because people were, you had to travel a lot. You know, you had to travel a ton, bro, to get in the business and stay relevant in the business. But now, during COVID, bro, during the pandemic, like, bro, you could work 4 or 5 deployments in a year and never leave the house. So it made it much more accessible for many people.
Because they had a transition too to keep up the workload without keeping the office and people. So I really like that, because COVID was like a blessing in disguise for a lot of people. A lot of people were like, oh, I lost my job and everything, but it really pushed people out of their comfort zone to do something.
They had to do something different. They was like, yo, this ain't working like it used to. I gotta do something way different. What am I gonna do? And a lot of people pivoted, man, and some people did very well for themselves. Others are still trying to figure it out. But I know a lot of my students did really well.
That's good. That's good. So 3,000 students.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So do you do community type teaching, or is it like group
It's all
settings?
recorded. Everything's recorded. I like people to do self-paced learning. I want people to learn the way they learn, right? And so some people like to learn, they gotta stop, restart again, rewind. And I like teaching in that way. And then we have a private group with 1,700 students in there. And those students are referring to the course material, and they're also going back and forth about who's getting higher right now. They're helping each other. So as the students learn, they're teaching each other as well.
Power community. I love community, man. It's such a dope construct. And when it's yours, it's hugely beneficial, because now you have people that you taught, they can know the game, they've been experienced in it, and like, hey, go ask them a question. They know the answer.
I agree. That's what I'm saying, man. That's the thing, is like, because like, for example, I have 10 students get hired at the same place in the same weekend, and they can all help each other because they're all working at the same place. I'm not working there. I can't help you in that way. And they'll all be working for the same company at the same time. It's like, hey, what was this? How do you say this? Hey, what was this on the phone? Didn't they say this in the meeting? You know what I mean? Like, and they do that a lot. The students, they do a great job with that. And that's really been a big catalyst for them winning, is the community.
Community is, once it's hard to build, once it's built, it's priceless, man.
Listen, man, it was super hard to build. I remember back when we had like 30 people in the group. I thought we was never gonna get over 100 people. It felt like it was never gonna happen. And then like one day it was 300. Next day it was like 700. I'm like, dang, it only crossed 1,000 people. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. We got 1,000 people in here. And then it got to where I couldn't even talk in the group anymore, because it was so many people asking me questions. And then what was also interesting to see was seeing my students ask other students before they asked me. It was starting to be new experts in there, And like, hey, talk to Matt, talk to Adrian, talk to Sean, talk to Hank, talk to all these other people. And I'm like,
Steven.
nobody's saying talk to me, And that's a fun thing to watch their growth,
It's so our community is the same thing. So right now we have like 30 people in the group, and then it had 100. I'm like, holy crap, we got 100 people in it. Now we have 300. And I'm like, holy crap, we got 300.
Yeah.
It's so good. We're in the same. We're following the same footsteps as you. So it's kind of cool seeing everybody interact and everybody help each other in that way. Mm-hmm. It's really awesome to see. I think community, man, is one of the most underrated things that people overlook sometimes.
Well, if they're building something, or if they're looking for something, I think they often underrate community. But I also think that as somebody who's built a fairly sizable community right now, it's not huge, but it's 1,700 people. Ain't nothing to sneeze at. The community is going to take on the personality that you put out there. Yep. If you're not being helpful and polite, they're not going to be helpful and polite. Yep. And I think for me, I always try to be very polite with my students and very patient with them. When they want to know information, I try to be very patient, so my students can show that patience to each other. I'm not snappy. You should Google that. Just go to the website. Why didn't I tell you? No, I try not to do that. Sometimes my students wear my nerves, but that's anybody. You know what I mean? But yeah,
people are people. People are people.
Yeah, all the time, man. The community is amazing. I enjoy it. I'm really happy to see them. I'm so proud of them, because I feel like it's their community. I don't feel like it's mine anymore. I'm like, that's y'all. That is all y'all's doing. Y'all did that.
Yeah. I say the same thing too, because it's like, yes, I started it, but you all took it to the next level. So I can't take credit for that.
No, I can't take credit for it. It's their community. They're doing great.
It's their community doing great. Tell us about your programs. Tell us about your courses. Where can they find them?
Okay, so guys, my name is Stephen Storey. You can find me at Stephen Storey on Twitter. From there, I have a link in my bio. You can go and find my programs there. Roadmap to Becoming an Independent Insurance Adjuster is a 1 hour long course. It's going to take you about a week to finish because I have things for you to do after each section that I want you to complete. From there, I have Essential Claim Handling. That's when you've gotten deployed as an insurance adjuster. And it's going to teach you how to handle claims day to day. I have Understanding Insurance Policy. From there, Understanding Insurance Policy is a breakdown of an HO3 policy, which is a homeowner's policy, a standard homeowner's policy. We're going to break down the language that the insurance carriers have written this policy so you can understand the vocabulary and the context that we make our claim decisions. Then from there, we have, what else we got? We have an insurance adjuster bundle. So it's all my courses, plus we have a resume writing course on there as well as like how do you build a resume out so you can get hired as an insurance adjuster. So that's what I got right now. And I have a mentorship program as well where I can kind of hold your hand as you go through the process of becoming an adjuster and talk to you about technical questions you might have day to day.
I'm personally curious about your home insurance one because I'm like, I own property. It's something I need to know.
The Understanding Insurance Policy is a great course just as a homeowner, so you can just understand. Because one problem I have with a lot of homeowners is that they don't understand they don't understand their policy for one, and they're also underinsured a lot of times. They don't have correct insurance. They might have insurance on their house, but they got a $10,000 fence back there. They don't have proper insurance on. Little things like that. The wind comes, it blows down a section of fence. It costs $7,000 to fix, but you didn't have insurance on it, so we got to deny you. Little stuff like that. Little stuff like that. Yeah.
You should really. We'll put a link to that one in the bio for all our real estate people. That way they understand from the insurance standpoint what is necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big one, man.
And I'm gonna tell you too, for all my real estate people out there, if you got rental property, go back and look at your insurance policy. You need to know what your insurance policy is for your property. Some of you guys got detached carports, you got fences. You need to know what your state requires for certain things to be covered, because like I said, for example, you might have a $15,000 fence and you got $2,500 worth of fence coverage. Now what you gonna do? And this is your fourth property, you own 4 or 5 rental units, and all your rental units are underinsured. And you're in an area that has a high wind probability. You're gonna pay up on fences after a while.
So let's kind of I like where we're going with this. This is a good one. So what is something real estate landlords or commercial property as far as multifamily, what's something that can easily get somebody to overlook that they'll overlook and not underinsure for?
One, you need to understand your plumbing. I don't think real estate guys know enough about plumbing because that causes a lot of water issues in these houses. So for example, and I've seen thousands of houses. So I see this situation across the United States and Canada for that. You own a property, you bought it, the toilets didn't have a problem a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever you bought it or whatever. Upstairs toilet leaks, no tenant is in the house, or a tenant is in the house, the tenant went on a vacation. The tenant has rental insurance, they're gonna get their stuff replaced. But you didn't have the proper insurance to handle water mitigation, for example, which is water mitigation when you dry a house out after it's gotten damaged by water. Okay, but you don't have the proper insurance for that. You're underinsured. So now you got an upstairs bathroom that's messed up and a downstairs kitchen that's messed up. We all know how much kitchen cabinets cost. We all know how much bathrooms cost. You got 2 of those things messed up. You're going to come out of pocket of that because we're going to deny you. And we see a lot of people get denied on those toilet claims. Toilet overflows for a week. Might have a busted pipe, it overflows for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, tears up the whole kitchen. Another thing is, do you have coverage for, like, for example, you might have hardwood floor on the entire first floor of the property, right? Well, that sounds cool until the kitchen is connected to the front door via hardwood floor, and you don't have coverage to make sure your hardwood floor all gets replaced. Now you got mismatched hardwood floor. It happens a lot too. People getting out on that. Something small, but people getting out on it a lot.
Man.
You know, it can get quite expensive. And so you need to go back and look at you gotta go back and look at these details, guys. Go look at, do you have like, I'm not a little sleepy. I don't know the policy term on top of my head, but you need to find out, do you have coverage for continuous flooring, continuous paint, right? We have some, like in Florida, what city, what state you in?
California. I'm
in California. So you have some places, guys, for example, when you have a leaky roof, y'all have some areas of a home that might cover half the home, and it might be one continuous paint job in this one room, right? But you get a leaky ceiling, and you know, like I know, all whites are not created equal as far as paint is concerned, right? You go to patch up one little area, and now you got this eyesore where the leak used to be at, because you don't have coverage to repaint the whole area, that continuous paint, where all the paint is. You see what I'm saying? And so it's little things. And see, the problem is, guys, these people that are selling you all these insurance policies, they don't understand policy. They know how to sell policy. They don't understand policy. And so it's the little things that are going to cost you a lot. You need to be sure that your fences are insured completely. Okay? If you have a fence that's over $2,000, I'm sure all you do now, because wood is extremely expensive and labor costs are going up every day. And especially if you got a cedar fence, you need to make sure your fence is covered properly. Talk to your insurance agent. Pay the extra $10, $15 a month on your properties, guys. I'm telling you guys, these windstorms come, a heavy thunderstorm comes, it's gonna kick your butt. You know?
That's crazy, man.
I can keep going with this one, bro. That's why I see that a lot. A lot of, especially these real estate guys, are underinsured.
We'll just tell them to get the link in the bio and make sure they understand their client.
Understanding insurance policy. If you want these real estate guys, take it not for just to be an insurance adjuster. Take it so you can understand your insurance policy, because I'm telling you, an extra $20 a month for you to have a better coverage on some of your properties is going to save you thousands of dollars over the course of property ownership.
So I always ask this towards the end: is what is a quote that's yours or somebody else's that resonates with you?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Move boldly, and great forces will come to your aid.
Move boldly, great forces will come to your way. Man, that's a good one.
Yeah,
I've never heard that one before. That's a good one.
It was a guy. This dude, man, he was the violinist for Celine Dion. That's as strange as that is, but I got that quote from him. I forgot the guy's name, but it's move boldly and great forces will come to your aid. So like what I found is over the years, man, like when I moved to Brazil, I moved boldly, right? And people came to help me out. The first two people I met here spoke English.
Yep.
Right. And they helped me through it until I learned Portuguese. All right. When I moved to Canada, I had people that helped me out there. Like when I moved into insurance adjusting, people helped me out there. Like when I moved into teaching insurance, all these people helped me, man. So it's like, move boldly. And, it's another quote I have is like, it talks about basically most men are walking around in quiet despair. Earl Nightingale said that. Either Earl Nightingale or Ralph Waldo Emerson. I don't remember, but most men are walking around in quiet despair. They're just looking for leadership. Okay. And so it's like, those are two opposing quotes, but they fulfill the same thing. It's like, yo, look, get out here and move with some faith and action. And people don't come to help you.
They need a purpose that's greater than their own.
Exactly.
Man, that was good. All right, man. Steve Storey on Instagram.
I appreciate it.
Link to that course, because that was gonna be a good one, man. I'm gonna have to get that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a link. I'm gonna email you a link, bro, to understand the insurance policy. I appreciate it.
That one's good, man. I'm gonna sell that one out.
Do it. I want to help. Hey, man, I'm trying to help people, man. I want them to understand what they got. And it's like, you can help people by just making sure they know what's really going on.
You inform people.
Exactly.
You inform and empower people with information.
Exactly. It's exactly it, man. And that's what makes me excited for them is like, yo, like once you know the information, then you got it. Nobody has to tell you anymore. Now you got it, you know?
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I sent you the link in the chat.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna have to save it and make sure it gets in the video. But we appreciate you coming out. Thanks for coming on, man. Check them out, man. There's a lot of good information there. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro. Thanks, Dan.